Right, welcome, and today we're going to have a look at Anvil Magazine. Now, Anvil Magazine was published in 1994, almost 30 years ago. So, in this magazine, we're going to take a trip down memory lane or into time, whichever we want to put it, and have a look. A lot of things that you're going to see in here probably don't exist anymore, or if they do, they're probably on eBay or some other third-party seller platform. If you like what you see, go ahead and head on over and have a look at them. Some of these figures are really, really nice, even though they are pretty old. Now, in this issue, they say they'll be talking to Kev Adams. There's a showcase of dragons. They'll build a vignette for you and include miniatures from different companies. So this is the premiere issue, and as you can see here, if it's on the cover, you've got the Grendel's Black Orc Warbeast. Yeah, it looks really good. Okay, so we've got the editorial. Now, if you look at the editorial, it tells you pretty much everything you need to know about the magazine, what's going to be inside, which includes the fact that each issue of Anvil was supposed to be themed, showcase themed, and in this issue they are showcasing dragons. So we're going to look at a lot of dragons in this issue. Also, they're going to spotlight different miniature companies, but in this particular issue, they're gonna spotlight Grendel miniatures, so that will be inside the magazine as well. According to the editorial, this was a chance to move away from magazines just based on games and moving it more towards magazines based on miniatures as a hobby. So if you look here, we've got table of contents. You have to go through this. We'll be actually flipping through the whole thing. Now, the first article we're going to have a look at is called Digging for Worms. And this is actually pretty great, because all of the dragons you see here are extinct. Pretty much like the House of the Dragons, all the dragons are gone. All dragons you see here are gone. So let's look at what we've got here. We've started off with a Grim Reaper's Wyvern. Now, I don't know if any of you know what Grim Reaper is. Now, Grim Reaper Castings was actually founded in 1991 by the Jennings brothers and incorporated in 1997. Webpage for Grim Reaper. Any information about Grim Reaper Castings ended in October 2005. So they've got the Red Wyvern. So I don't know if there's any way to get this apart from on eBay or another seller platform. Next one, I have a look at Hobby Products' Wyvern. This is really nice looking. It looks a little bit like one of the Games Workshop figures. But Hobby Products is actually a German company, and they used to produce games and miniatures between 1984 to 2006. They've got a imprint called Metal Magic, which they use for the miniature line. But again, they are no longer around. They stopped production in 2006. Next, we have a look at this little black dragon here. This is from Grendel Productions. Now, Grendel Productions was actually, if you were to go online, they're no longer called Grendel Productions. They're called Scotia Grendel. And actually, this magazine, Wyvern, is actually published by Grendel. They've also did some work with Forge magazine. I think I've got it in my storeroom somewhere. So, if you like magazines like this, give me a like, a subscribe, and I'll probably feature Forge as well. Next up, we got Grim Reaper's Dark Dragon. Again, very nice looking. I don't know about the eyes though. looks a bit creepy. But yeah, Grim Reaper's Dark Dragon, and at the bottom you see here the Smaug the Dragon by Prince August. Now, Prince August is actually a Swedish company, and it was founded in 1958. The company is still around. In fact, in 2006, Prince August bought the rights to Chronopia and Mutant Chronicles, the Warzone ranges. But yeah, they're still around. So if you're interested, go and have a look. However, I did check Prince August's website, and Smaug the Dragon is no longer available for sale. Then we have Ralpaltha's Takisis, or Queen of Darkness. Now this is a limited edition model, so even at the time this was not easily available. Now if you don't know what Ralpaltha is, well, Ralpaltha rebranded itself to be called Iron Wind Metals now. Okay, so moving on, we've got Rampaging Red Dragon by Thunderbolt Mountain. Thunderbolt Mountain was founded in 1988 by ex Ralpaltha staff, and they're from 1988 till 2017. Finally, we've got the Orc War Wyvern. Now, if you didn't know, so this was the wyvern that the Orc boss or Orc War chief would march into battle with. And this is also not available. It's one of those legacy miniatures. Next up, we got Nuts and Bolts. Actually, it's quite sad. Actually, now that I'm looking at all these companies that have bit the bullet, and you know what? These makes all of these dragons pretty collectible. Actually, in fact, I should actually do a video of all the dragons I've got in my store. The ones I painted, one I own. Yeah. So moving on, we've got Nuts and Bolts. This one is a Vinay build. So this build is done by Steve Blunt. He has won many Golden Demon Awards, and he's about to handle or build a Vinay around Grendel's Black Orc Wobbies, designed by Cav Adams. So as you can see here, it gives you a step-by-step. And in 1994, I guess this was the one way you learn how to build stuff or do stuff step by step. Pictures, one picture after another. Very nicely done. And if you're interested in collecting magazines, this is where the treasure really lies, actually. Step by step guides. Yeah, it looks really, really good. Next up, we got Dioramas. And this one is another Grendel piece that's been built as a diorama, and is done by Ivan Bartlett. Now if you look inside, again, pictures and step by step, there's even like a guide on the construction, which is great. I think if you're building dioramas, or if you're building scenic bases, it's good to have a sketch, and it's nice that they show you behind the scenes on how they intend to do and build this. Planning is great, and I think this is where this article comes out tops. The pictures are not so fantastic though, but you get an idea of what the builder was trying to do. This final look at the diorama, it looks really good. But I pity about the pictures though. I wish the pictures were much, much better. Next up, we've got Banners by Jackie Appleton, which is great. I mean, back when Warhammer Fantasy was very, very famous, you'd see a lot of banners, made by hobbyists. It was actually almost like part of the hobby itself. You bring your banner. Yeah, some of us would actually cut out banners from magazines, but most of the time, for the more creative ones amongst us, and the ones with a little bit of a artistic bent, you'd see some pretty nice custom banners, and this is really nice. So later you'll see at the back of this piece, the continuation, it'll give you some samples of banners that you can actually cut and use for your own armies. But before we do that, inside the magazine, as promised, that's the Grendel catalog. Actually, this is quite nice. It's a snapshot at Grendel, circa 1994. Looking at who Grendel are, I see some familiar faces. But let's look at what they had. So they had the dungeon builder. This is great if you intend to, be dungeon crawling, and you want to decorate your dungeons very nicely, or actually put some visual hints and visual aids for your dungeon crawling. So you've got like dungeon builders, you've got your dungeon accessories. Then you got this interdict marines, predator marines, advanced tactical assault carriers. This one, the tactical assault carrier looks familiar. I'm not sure where I've seen it before. But yeah, having a look at the Interdict Marines and the Predator Marines, it's got its own style. Definitely has its own style, but I'm not so sure if I own any of these. Again, I gotta check my deep storeroom and see how much Grendel I actually have. Moving on, we've got sci-fi doors and floors, and this is for your space or sci-fi dungeon crawl. Then you've got this. This looks like an extremely huge piece here. It's called a subterranean cave. You've got this like little boulder a door. It looks nice. It looks huge. It says here, spiral staircase, 2 pieces, secret entrance, wooden bridge. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Moving on, you got the fantasy forest, which is great. Then you got the cyber technologies. It looks like car vehicles. The one on the top looks very extremely loosely based on a Blade Runner design, but it's different enough for it to be unique. And they call this one the security grav car and street car. Very nice. It's nice that there were like games which actually produced lots of vehicles. But here in Malaysia, we very rarely saw this because we don't have much conventions here. So it's nice to look through magazines and see stuff like this available. Next up, continuing the theme of dragons, you got the Hydra. Oh man, this looks huge. If you look at the bottom picture, you can actually see the scale of the Hydra. This one's huge, man. It's 1, 2, 3, was it 5 heads? 5 head Hydra. Oh, nasty. Okay, then you got the Pharaoh's Tomb. Again, this looks huge as well. This looks like a huge piece. Looks like Grendel has a lot of like really large pieces. Like I said, I gotta check my storeroom. Next up, we got the Orcs Outpost. This is quite nice. And the Norse Giant's helmet, shield, sword. Requires assembly. Yeah, it's huge. Again, a little size comparison just to show. Then you got the Black Dragon. If you remember in the front, the showcase, you saw the Black Dragon. Here it is, right here. Okay, and then we've got the dungeon doors, nicely designed dungeon doors. We have to beautify your dungeon crawl, make them more interesting. Then you got the Fire Demon. Again, another miniature to compare. I think it's safe to say that you can actually compare this to a normal classic Warhammer figure, just to see how big this Fire Demon is. Next up, we got the Pharaoh's Crypt. This is nice. This is very nice. Actually, if you're building a diorama, this is perfect for diorama. Moving on, you got some science fiction. You got the Raptor Assault Biped and the Nemesis Assault Biped. This look like ATSDs, actually, to be honest. I think later Warhammer or Games Workshop or whatever they want to be called now use this as Sentinels, this biped style, ATSD Star Wars style. But these are nice. This looks really good. As you can see, again, you compare it. I think a lot of times, when you compare the actual model with a model that's more common, you can see how big this model really is. It's a very good idea. Next up, we got Imperial Marines and Predator Marines with heavy weapons. Again, this do not look familiar to me. I don't think I have any of these in my storeroom. But again, I'm going to need to check. Next up, we've got a Goblin Torturer's Chamber. Again, very nice for dioramas. You've got a Graveyard. If you're doing a small little vignette, this is quite nice. The Goblin Stronghold. The amount of detail actually on the Goblin Stronghold is quite impressive. Again, yeah, you can actually put this as terrain on your tabletop, or actually a small vignette if you want to. Another vignette piece, the Magician's Study, very nice. And a cyber bar, some science fiction terrain pieces or decor pieces to put into your science fiction RPGs, or if you're doing a science fiction vignette, this would be perfect. Now we got some fantasy stuff. We got some Black Orcs. We got the Black Bear Clan, Barbarian X-Men. Then you got some. What's this? This is a war machine. The Goliath Dwarven War Machine. Oh, this is excellent. Yeah, I do like these old school war machines. There's a sense of working with minimal amount of product, or material, and trying to come up with some really kick-ass stuff. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's the Grendel catalog. It's in 1994. It was pretty small, and it's great that you actually get all of it in the middle of this magazine. And yeah, so here's the continuation of the banners article. They've got all these different banners that you can actually paint or just cut out. They've given you the option to do that. So if you want to just paint, you can paint the design, or if you want to cut them out, you can do that. Next up, we've got an interview with Kev Adams. Now, I don't know if any of you guys know who Kev Adams is. They call him the Goblin Master. Of course, this interview is in 1994. So this is a bit dated, but Kev has actually done sculpting for Hassle-Free Miniatures, Citadel Miniatures, Harlequin Miniatures, Renegade Miniatures. He's definitely miniature royalty, to say that. So the interview is actually quite short. Actually, it's I wish it was a bit longer, but it's actually quite short. It's actually quite short. Next up, you've got miniatures from Heartbreaker. Well, they're out of business. They've been around from 991 to 997. So these are no longer available. These Earthdawn miniatures, this Earth Dawn themed metal miniatures from Heartbreaker are no longer available. So that's a shame. If you haven't checked out the Earth Dawn RPG, do so. Next up, you've got these variations. That's the name of the next article. This one's really nice. I think the idea of this is really, really good. So what they did was that they got the same figure, and then they got 3 different painters to paint the same figure. So in this issue, you got Justin Lisby, Michael Leach, and Stefan Tulin working on the Mortificator from the Mutant Chronicles universe. Yeah. Oh wait, there's Tim Prow as well. So they got 4 guys working on one miniature, and I like this because it shows you that one miniature can be interpreted so differently, and I also like the fact that each of them gives the process behind painting the figure. A very good article, actually. A very good article. Next up, you got a sketch gallery. This is for the game Leviathan. I like this. I like concept pencil art because, in essence, most miniatures are made from sketches, at least back in the day. So this is a great, chance to look behind the scenes of what the idea was when they were putting the designs together. So here we got the Black Orc Khan, the Shaman, and the Black Orc Warrior. Also got some goblin banner. Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice. Gives you the feel of what they want to do, or how they want to design the world. Okay, so next up we got Pipeline, where we open the industry faucet to filter out some cool stuff. So you got some figures from Grim Reaper here. We've got Grenadier, Future. We've got Killzone from Grenadier. At the time, 1994, we've got the Skeletal War Wagon. Oh, that's really good. We've got the box cover for Elemental Dragons, Fire and Water. You got Necronomy's concept range for museum quality resin kits. Yeah, that's nice. It looks like the Famous Monsters range kind of thing. Then you got the Gondor Army Warband. Now, mind you, this is this long before Games Workshop Warhammer, whatever they call, had the license. So this is what they were envisioned to look like. Next up, you have the Das Schwarz Auge. I don't know how to pronounce this. Das Schwarz Auge. I'll figure out how to pronounce it later. So you've got their metal figure range. Then you got Pegasus by Fortress Figures. It's a flying pig. If pigs fly. And there you have it. In the miniature world, they do. Ravenloft World comes alive with these miniatures from Rob Bata, another Rob Bata product here. Very nice to do vignettes, very nice to do dioramas. It's got all these little bits for your mad scientist laboratory. Next up, Citadel. This is when Citadel was Citadel. So you've got they call it the ever expanding line, which is extremely true, extremely true. So you got a little bit from Warhammer 40k, which is the Marine Chaplain and the Katachan Jungle Fighter. You also have the Bloodletter, and then looking down we have from Geometric. Well, it got what looks like a Romulan. You got Pumpkinhead. Yeah, it looks really good. And finally, Dark Library. Yes. So you've got a homegrown quarterly magazine for the Warhammer 40k gamer, which is great. I mean, this is when you know. I think this is a zine. I'm not so sure. I got to double check what this is. The back cover is Doom Trooper, the collectible trading card. I've got stacks of this card somewhere in the storeroom. The game was really good actually. In fact, I think it spawned a whole bunch of folks really into Mutant Chronicles. Maybe we should do a TCG, part of the channel to look at different TCGs for Doom Trooper. Pretty good game. And finally, Cryptic. Was it bi-monthly magazine? It lasted only 8 issues. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's Anvil Magazine issue 1, the premiere issue. And that's me looking at it. Now, if you like this, if you like me flipping through old magazines, let me know. Give me a like and subscribe, and we'll do some more. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one, and don't forget to enjoy painting those figures.